Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you. Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here, and today we've got a large Star Wars collaborative layout built by 4 different builders. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves, then we'll dive on in here.
Hi, my name's Andrew, or Lego Remount on Instagram.
Matthew or Blitzbricks.
McLean or Mandalorian Mac.
Owen or Robinut03.
Okay, and we'll go through each of your sections here one by one, but if you want to start with an overview of kind of the whole scene that you've depicted.
Yeah, so this is Sylvoria. It's a BobaLUG collaboration. It's a completely original planet that we came up with its own story, own layout, own terrain, features, everything. So the overall idea is that it takes place after the Clone Wars, early Imperial Age. You have Imperial conquest or conquering land, taking over and expanding into territories that they're not supposed to overall. But it's a pretty big build. It's 15 base plates total, or around 36 722 studs for an area. Yeah. And we have around 500,000 parts and around 100 figs. So
I love that. I love the scale of what you guys have done here, and also just the creativity of kind of coming up with your own original planet is really great as well. So if you want to, you can take us through kind of the particular section you built.
Yeah, so I built a lot of the main terrain that you can see up here and the village entrance in that small hut over here. I started building, all of us started building around October, so this has been like a year in the making, but a lot of the terrain, McLean came up with it, and we just kind of all agreed on the colors, and we kind of just started building, and we really wanted to go for like a way that it's all its own thing. So it's nothing too much, but it also works and looks Star Wars. And that's what a lot of people have said. It feels Star Wars, and it's great. And we didn't want to be doing flat terrain, so we did layered elevation, where we had, you can see rocks inside, you can see the different layers of the earth, and it came together really well in my opinion. So
I think that's a really neat technique where it looks like you just kind of like cut out the sides from like a slice of the terrain of the planet here and then just put it on display.
Yeah, it was a very nice concept that we did, and I really like how it turned out.
So we'll have our next builder come in then, if you want to take us through the section that you worked on.
So I worked on the village in the back here, all these houses, the cantina, the town hall. I did the raised section of the muck, so all this is highest 7 inches and around 6. So yeah, we just did the trees, the forests in here, all the figures, placements, yeah.
What were the main kind of design elements and guides that you used for these buildings as you kind of came up with what the village would look like?
So once we came up with a color scheme, I just kind of took creative liberty and did whatever I thought would work. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I like the addition of some texture with some of the like brick masonry bricks and things. What else? What other pieces did you use to kind of avoid just the flat kind of tan wall?
Yeah, I used some headlight bricks to get some studs and some round tiles so that we could add some weathering to the village. It's of course a little bit old compared to the Imperial base. Also with the flashing lights, we wanted to make it seem like a poorer area.
How did you incorporate the lighting into there? Is that kind of all hidden underneath the base?
So yeah, we just did that when we got all the plates together, and we took all the plates off and ran it under. So it's all in the middle and then it all connects.
Yeah. Are there interiors to the buildings at all?
There's an interior for this building right over here.
What's inside this one?
This is the cantina, so there's just people discussing and yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for that. And then as we go on to our next builder, what did you bring here?
Yeah, so I was in charge of this section, which is just kind of the main hangar area, and basically the biggest challenge with this was getting it to actually have the door open. So the way that I went about this was we had basically we knew we wanted the door to be open, and so we designed the interior, and then I came up with like a frame design for the front of the build, and basically built the details around that, and then built the rest of the structure. So I put together some filler walls, built them up, and then connected them to that main structure that I built initially that's surrounding the door. And then that's what allowed me to actually build the rest of the thing and have it be supported. The main base area right here, this is all separate from the base plates down below. So you can just pop this off and then transport the base plates that it's on top of separately, and that helps a lot with transport.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also kind of a section in the back here as well.
Yeah, super proud of the interior I was able to come up with. One of the things I was trying to do with this was figure out a way to conserve gray parts and add a little bit of color. So I came up with the idea of having these white tanks as part of the facility for whatever the Imperials are using it for. And I think it definitely adds a nice touch. We were able to incorporate the lights into there as well to really make it pop. And then the sand blue accents as well. I'm a big sand blue guy, one of my favorite Lego colors. And so being able to integrate that into the build was definitely a must.
Yeah. What are the main pieces used for kind of the structure of the gray walls here?
Yeah, so for the walls, we wanted to mostly try and use tile as much as we could, but then also we had a pretty good amount of bricks as well, and so we kind of integrated those two styles wherever needed. Some of the detail work, some of the more complex parts use a little bit of like panels and cheese slopes as well. Cheese slopes were definitely a big part. This angled section up here, this was a big area where those cheese slopes came in handy. I was able to incorporate some really nice depth in there and use some panel pieces to make those dark bluish gray bricks kind of jut out just a little bit, which I'm super proud of. And then played around with the angle and was able to get that looking really clean. So that's probably my favorite section of my little part in the collab.
And then we've got a nice kind of minifigure scene happening here with the characters going up the side.
Yeah, so that was something that we were able to work on here at the convention. These guys kind of came around and we built up this wall, and then we were able to come up and add a little bit of story, a little bit of storytelling to the build, which we were super proud of. That's something that we really enjoy. So being able to add that little bit of extra story so that when people are walking past, they can kind of get an idea of what's going on with the build.
And that brings us to our final builder then.
So I built this L-shaped section in the corner with half of the base. I really wanted to incorporate a lot of angles into this base to make it more unique. So we see there's lots of like stacked cheese slopes that are lined up right there, and some other different techniques like the 45-degree angle plates. And it also worked a lot on the train and coming up with the style for it that they use as a guideline for the rest of the build and like the color scheme. And I really like it because it kind of sets us apart from lots of other Star Wars mocks, and it's really colorful is kind of the goal of that.
So take us through some more of the details of that terrain, and kind of as you were putting together that style, what were you looking to achieve?
Yeah, so we wanted lots of depth, so we see like the lower areas are dark tan, and the higher areas we have grass on them for like some olive color. But we wanted to incorporate the newer like nougat and light nougat colors along with medium nougat, just make it more colorful. And also like lavender trees, dark orange trees, yellow trees, just make it really pop.
And then what did you guys use kind of underneath the whole thing to get the different elevation changes?
Yeah.
Is that all just brick or?
So there's lots of Duplo, so it's like Duplo pillars and then 16 by 16 base plates, and then just bricks on top of that. Yep.
Yeah. That's a great technique, so it's really cool to see that. And then in terms of bringing this to the show, how does that work in terms of you guys each transporting your sections and getting it all together?
Yeah, so like every one of these splits into like its own 48 by 48 base plate, and just lots of boxes and shoving into our cars. But most of it disconnects pretty easily, and when we got here, we just wanted to put some tile, excuse me, on the studs to keep it like from the gaps from showing, basically.
What was the collaboration process like for the four of you as you were kind of planning this out and deciding kind of who would do what section, and how did that work?
So we had lots of drawings, and we we laid out from the top and split it up, drew it from the top, and kind of laid it out that way. And we had lots of calls trying to figure out all the specifics of the height and all that, so it would line up when we got here on this day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And another thing we did was we left where we met up blank, so when we got here we could make sure it matched up perfectly and build on site.
Yeah, that's a good tip. So then you're able to kind of make it all meld together really nicely. And we mentioned this earlier, but I love how you did kind of the cut off rock elements there. So are those how are those incorporated in there as you guys kind of made sure that you wanted those in the terrain?
Yeah, so lots of it is also snot techniques, and they all like slide out mostly because we had to use some upside down pieces. But we really wanted to use this because it's common in smaller builds, but not that common in larger builds. So we thought that would help it stand out a bit at the convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to you and the rest of the builders here. You all did a fantastic job, and it's a really impressive looking display, so keep up the good work. Thank you.